Good evening. Welcome into the Ken's 5 Digital Center. Bill Taylor here. It is Monday evening after a record-breaking day of heat. We've got a few showers on radar. Look at this. Now, this was part of a big thunderstorm complex that sat still north of Kerrville. Is still active tonight. I mean, I still see a couple of thunderstorms there, but most of the dangerous storms have dissipated. You can see how that cluster hardly moved. And I mean, this is over let me put it up to 4 or 5 hours and show you that again, it just sat so still and it caused some flooding issues in that same area. I can even take it, let's go to 5. Look at that. And now a few of these showers have held together and broken off of that little complex and found San Antonio. There's a few sprinkles in the city. They don't last very long. You can see another one there in northern Uvalde County. That's actually an isolated thunderstorm now that I take a look at it. Getting a little lightning in that near Utopia, dropping closer to Sabinal, where there's a couple of showers already. But yeah, see, they don't last very long. Let me just put this now in the last 2 hours. Just isolated little showers that'll be roaming around for the next 30 minutes, maybe hour. Now that other storm, that could hold on and maybe drop down to Highway 90. Isolated thunderstorm near Utopia is one on the left side of your screen I'm talking about. But all in all, another day of some thunderstorms developing outside of the Haze dominance and in that northwest flow. Because like I say, remember, it's kind of like a bubble. And so on the outskirts of that bubble is where we get this northwest flow, because the high is kind of centered over Mexico, West Texas. And so in that northwest flow, you get these little disturbances. It's so humid outside that it doesn't take much lift at all. Just a little updraft, and you're going to get a good downpour in daytime heating. That's why this all happens in the early to mid-afternoon, and then it really picks up and it starts dying out once we get the sun down. Kind of diurnal coverage, we call it. Hey, Kira, how are you? Hey, Grace, expecting some storms to develop? No, not tonight. Maybe a few showers, Grace, but that would be it. Hey, Brian, Las Vegas, it's 88 with a heat index of 85. That's, yeah, a lot hotter here than even in Las Vegas. We're in the mid-90s right now. Closer every day, right? Not much, Miranda, no. JR's missing winter. Not yet, Patra, not yet. Howdy, JR. Hey, Henry, good to see you. Golnar, how are you? We needed to come to Medina. I know, and 2 days would be perfect, Roxanne. Just rain it out right on top of Medina Lake. Dew points are still high, lower to mid to upper 70s. So with that kind of moisture in the atmosphere, again, it does not take much. And here's what we're expecting. High dew points that climb on Thursday, Friday. And so with that kind of moisture in the air, we're still expecting high heat indices. And that's why the National Weather Service has issued, put that back on, an excessive heat warning through Wednesday. They've extended this through Wednesday at 9 p.m. So this will mean temperatures between 100 and 105, but the feels like between 110 and 120. I mean, that's just a brutal forecast, but true. As high pressure is in control, and we also have that southeast wind keeping at the surface, keeping the Gulf moisture in place. Dennis, wish Lakey would get some good rain to fill up the Frio. Yeah, that's also pretty dry out there, isn't it? So the other story today, now that we're talking about the heat, today's heat was one of a kind. 105 in San Antonio, 107 in Pleasanton, 105 Floresville, New Braunfels 104. How about 116s down I-35? Imagine hitting a high of 116, and it's not even summer. This is still spring. 109 Eagle Pass, 107 Del Rio, very hot. Now here's the thing, with our 105, we set the new record for June 19th. We break the 103 set back in 1918. Very old record went down today. It's over 100 years. That's pretty impressive. 93 is the normal, 93. So we beat that, boy, didn't we? So 105, the record high. I'm going to put like a little something on that tonight. ago. You know what? How about a... So you're seeing a little peek behind the curtain here. Is that a good spot for it? Yeah. R for record. And why don't we bring this in a little fancy like? Put it over there once that arrow hits. All right, so here's what it looks like. From San Antonio International. There it is. All right. So, 105 the record, and it doesn't look like we're done. We're going to go with 105 for tomorrow, Wednesday, and then 102 Thursday. All three would be new record high. Well, no, I'm sorry. Wednesday would not be a record. So, yeah, 105 tomorrow would break a record from 96. 105 Wednesday, one shy of a record from 1936. And then Wednesday or Thursday, 101's in jeopardy for sure, from 1990. That's a beautiful picture, isn't it? Tower Life building. Love that building. That's actually the one they're going to be putting apartments in now. They're renovating the entire building. Can you imagine living in that? It's such a beautiful historic building. All right, so, you know, after hitting 104 today, I mean 105 now. What am I saying? You know, I think I go back to, you know, Paul Morales is the wizard of temperature forecasts. And he was predicting 106 for tomorrow. Might go back to it. I chickened out and went 105. All right, it's a baby boy. Tropical storm Brett. We're waiting for a new advisory. Should come out at 10 p.m. 40-mile-per-hour winds moving west at 21. That's trucking across the Atlantic right now. Pressure's a little over 1,000 millibars. Once we get this under 1,000 is when you start really watching this thing grow. And it's out over open water, warm Atlantic Ocean water, so it's feeding and it's growing and it is in a favorable environment. Now that El Nino has not really gotten started up, we're expecting some strengthening in the next 24 hours. So where's it going next? And you might remember Brett, the name Brett, monster hurricane that hit Texas back in 1999. I got here in 96 and I remember covering Brett. Brett was a Cat 4, huge hurricane that went in at Kennedy County, not Texas. Remember, that's pretty far inland. You can't get a landfall in Kennedy, Texas. But that's in Karnes County. Kennedy County, spelled the same way, one N, Kenedy, is a couple counties north of Brownsville in deep South Texas. So it was a pretty rural, open area where Brett made landfall. That's why the name was not retired, even though it was a Cat 4 and it did make landfall. Name stayed active. So here's what we're expecting. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday into the Eastern Caribbean. Knocking on the door of the Dominican Republic as a Category 1 by Friday and into the weekend. So certainly something to watch. When it's coming in low like this, there's a good chance it gets into the Gulf of Mexico. Now, as you can see, there's some steering currents that are lifting it a little farther north at this point. Well, I should say, at this point of the forecast, but the point being Friday afternoon. So over the weekend, it's going to be the telltale story of whether or not this goes up into the Florida Keys and towards the Atlantic side of Florida, or if it stays low and stays on the southern end of Cuba and goes into the Gulf of Mexico, and then we have to watch it very closely. But this will be Tropical Storm Brett, should be Hurricane Brett by Wednesday. Right, Grace? Same here. Hey, Max. What's up, Ernie? Oh, Haze. Yeah, Ernie. So they're burning the sugar cane in Mexico, even in deep South Texas, and all of that smoke gets poured up into South Texas. Pretty typical burn this time of year. They do it every May and into June. I want to show you a graphic that explains, we used this last week, give you an idea of why we get so much of it into South Texas, and it's because of this dome of high pressure. You see, normally we wouldn't have this high positioned right where it is, but this is the worst case scenario on where this high is and where those fires are burning. So clockwise winds, like you see in those arrows, that's carrying the smoke up into South Texas. Plus, we've got fires burning in South Texas. So apparently, after you harvest the sugar cane, you burn the stalks. And that's what happens about this time every year. Tomorrow. So like I said, I was going with 104 to 105. I went to 105 for tomorrow. So yeah, I might be switching to 106 like Paul originally thought, because he is the wizard. And after hitting 105 today, I said, okay, it is possible. It is possible. Either way you cut it, please do this tomorrow. Drink plenty of H2O. Just have a bottle of water within arm's reach all day. Wear light-colored, loose-fitting clothing, especially if you're going to be outside. Don't overeat. Limit your caffeine and alcohol. You just don't want to be putting more stress on your body, and that's what that'll all do. The excessive heat warning continues. Oh, and I meant to say that since we were talking about the haze a little bit, one thing that's been a blessing, even though we've had the haze, we have not had the poor air quality. So you can see that the air quality monitors live showing us moderate in San Antonio, Houston, Austin, everybody, until you get to Louisiana, and then it improves. So we could be a little better, but we could be a lot worse. But I'm really glad to say that, you know, with all of this haze, we haven't really sacrificed air quality. Back to the heat for a second. Something very important. The Ken's 5 Cares program, Project Cool, continues. You drop off a brand new box fan to any San Antonio fire station, we take it from there. We got our great friends at Catholic Charities spearheading this once again. We've got our Society of St. Vincent de Paul. They do a phenomenal job on distribution. But here's an important part. If you need a fan, go to the Guadalupe Community Center. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's on Cesar Chavez, right across the street from Lanier High School. And you go there between 8:30 and 4, and you pick up a fan. If you need a fan, if it's an elderly senior, or if it's a disabled person that needs and that does not have air conditioning in their home, save their life and go pick up a fan for them. You can do that at the Guadalupe Community Center. Okay? That's on Cesar Chavez. Now, if you know someone that needs a fan, or you feel that you don't know and you have a few questions about how they get it, call 211. That United Way helpline will give you all the answers you need on who needs a fan, who gets a fan, and how. All right, so 105 is the next couple of days. Like I said, I might bump up tomorrow to 106. Morning clouds, and then the sooner we get rid of the clouds is the better chance of breaking records. Like if you see by 10:30 we're in mostly sunny sky, good chance of breaking the record. You know, if we can hold on to the clouds till like 11 or 12 o'clock, sometimes by midday, then maybe we get a later start like we did Saturday. Saturday's high was only 96. And then Sunday, we got the sunshine early, we made it to 103. So it just depends on when that cloud break happens. 102s to wrap up the work week, 102 for the first Saturday of summer. Remember, summer begins on Wednesday, the first weekend of summer. It's going to be as hot as summer, 102 to 103, but not as hot as it is on these final weekdays of spring. Kind of crazy, kind of crazy. Well, I love y'all. We're going to wrap things up. It is time to get ready for the 10 o'clock news. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Make sure we don't have any. Hey, John in Victoria, good to see you. Growing up here in SA, you get things done outside by 11. Yep, grandfather used to wake up at 6, get us up, get stuff done, come in for lunch, and relax the rest of the day. That's a really good idea, Ernie. That really is how it should be done. Avoid the heat stress. Yes, absolutely, Annette. If your eyes are sensitive, absolutely. That's why some asthma sufferers could be getting a little bit of, irritant. Plenty of water. Absolutely, Nikki. Or Nika. No rain or snow. Just those sprinkles tonight. Sarah, maybe a quick little sprinkle. Well, Max, I don't know that it'll be beyond Wednesday. I mean, Wednesday at 9 p.m., the warning ends. What we might see Thursday, Friday is at least a heat advisory. We might not meet the criteria for another excessive heat warning. Oh, that's awesome. I used to, Dave, I used to run a dating service for chickens, but I was struggling to make hens meet. Oh, that's good, David. David never disappoints, man. That's awesome.
I missed that one. All I heard was chickens.
I used to run a dating service for chickens, but I was struggling to make hens meet.
That's good.
Come on, that's good stuff. That's David. Home run, bro.
That's just nice old school world.
I love it. That's good stuff. It does. Yeah, absolutely, Annette. That's probably what it is. All right, guys. Love y'all. God bless. Have a wonderful Monday night and an even better Tuesday. We'll see you at 10.